guys, so thank you for joining today's lesson. I hope you guys learned something. Again, what I have to stress here is do not focus too much on just drawing one drawing, rather draw five drawings of the same character and learn in iteration. See what your mistakes are. Make those mistakes. Be perfectly fine with making mistakes, and then once you've made mistakes, you can learn from them and improve and have a better drawing 10 minutes later than you would have had for struggling with the same drawing for 40 minutes. It's just more economical, and it has the added benefit of you learning more as you go. And as you can see, guys, you're gonna have bad drawings, and that's sort of the point of this. Is I want to show you guys that not all your drawings, even if you're a professional, are going to work. Not all of your drawings are going to be perfect. That is 100% a-okay. They have to be bad sometimes. You can't learn what works, generally speaking, by just expecting perfection every time. So what I'm doing here is I'm drawing iteration after iteration of these drawings so that I have a general feel of what this character is and what I need for this character to work. And you'll see that I'm using different approaches every time. Over here I just used steak knife and lines of action. Over here I'm using more square lines. This time I'm using big body mass shapes first. And I find this to be a very useful way of developing a more flexible and more well-rounded approach to drawing. It helps with problem solving. It helps you to ultimately just get a better feel for art in general. What we do here is supposed to be a very fluid and organic process, and creating that organic process is actually quite fun once you learn to not be afraid of making mistakes. Changing the angle of her head a little bit, because I feel like well, this is art and I can do what I want. So if I want to change the angle of the head and I want to change the angle of the shoulders, I'm absolutely free to do so, guys. This is animation. We can do what we want, and I'm not here to draw an exact copy of this character. I am here to use that character as inspiration. So I'm going to continue that here. I want to add a bit more of a curve in her tummy there. And already you can see that I'm adding a little bit more energy to this drawing, right? Like by using shapes and by going through, iteration 1, iteration 2, iteration 3, I'm starting to see what works, what doesn't work. Whilst her arm is very curved here, I like straightening it out just a little bit more to give it a stronger sense of energy and weight in the drawing. I'm going to move that hand of hers up a little bit. And the idea is to suggest with shape the figure, not necessarily draw a perfect figure. And that is exactly what we're doing here. So you can see actually from one drawing to the next drawing to the next drawing. Let me just show that a little bit better. From this drawing to this drawing to this drawing, I'm pushing the anatomy of the character. I'm exaggerating the pose more, and ultimately that's a much more rewarding experience as an artist. And I'm not afraid of starting over. I'm only investing about a minute per drawing, and by just doing 1 minute a drawing, I'm not wasting a lot of time. So here I'm just going to focus on getting her head and her hands down first, and next up I think I'll add the larger shape, the big shape over here for her hips and her legs, and then from here we can worry about slightly more the mechanics of the torso here. really just trying to make the character fit a loose, organic feel to the drawing. I want there to feel to feel a sense of motion in the drawing. So I'm not trying to be precise. Trying to draw precise drawings will almost invariably result in your drawings being very stiff, and that's generally fine if you're doing illustration or you're drawing a comic or something like that. But for animation, we really want loose, flowing, and dynamic drawing. And you'll see I do like to draw these little grape shapes, this oblong shape here, especially if I'm doing limbs. Something I'll do here, let me hide this gesture real quick and I'll explain it, is I like to draw the top half and the bottom half of the two top halves of an arm, and then you can add, you know, your limbs there. And this also just makes it clearer which areas are curved, should be curved according to the steak knife, and which ones should not. So that's exactly what I did there. Okay, so well, that's the lesson, guys. I think the most important thing to take away from this again is exaggerate your shape, and don't get stuck spending 20 or 40 minutes on a single drawing, erasing and starting over. No, just make a new drawing and do this in iterations, and as you do it in iterations, you'll see how the drawing itself improves in increments as your understanding of that drawing improves. Thanks for joining in, guys. I will see you guys next time.